guys. It is becoming the end of the year. This is our last week of instruction. I can't believe it. Our last week of instruction. And I've missed you guys. I haven't seen you guys since March 13th, our last day. So I'm missing everyone. And as we come to the end of the year, we're also coming to the end of Frindle, our book Frindle. And in our book Frindle, as you can see here, it's also becoming the end of the 5th grade year for Nick too. And as you read, he had a wonderful idea, and the word Frindle became Frindle. And he had got another idea in social studies class about lunch and how if the consumers stop buying something, then the stores go out of business and the restaurants go out of business. It's sort of similar to what's going on in our country right now, where we can't go out and buy a lot of things. Well, at least with restaurants, we couldn't go out and buy a lot of things. So some of them might be going out of business, especially those ones that are buffets that we can't really eat at anymore because of everything going on. So it connects through our lives right now. So he decided, though, since it was not necessarily because like ours is coronavirus, theirs is just they don't like the food in the cafeteria, that if everyone stops eating the food, they'll change the menu. Well, he decided not to do that idea or even tell anybody in 5th grade. And the reason why is because he didn't want all that attention that he got with Frindle. He didn't like all that attention. It made everybody upset. It made everybody a little like on edge. So he didn't like that feeling. He was a good person and he really likes to help people. So he decided not to tell that idea to anybody. However, at the end of this book, the last day of school, Mrs. Granger tells him to keep on doing his ideas, that he has wonderful things coming out of him. And she's very proud of him this year. And he did nothing wrong. So I thought that was a good way to end this chapter. Now, there is another chapter where it tells you it's going to be 10 years later on what happens. Because if you remember, he thought Miss Granger wanted to talk to him to give him that letter that he signed. And she said, no. This is not over yet. The war of Frindle is not over yet. So I'm not giving you that letter. But I did want to let you know that I was very proud of you, of what you did this year and what you've accomplished with that word Frindle, that it is becoming a word. So let's go ahead and check our work to keep things simple, because I'm only going to teach you twice, you guys, this week. All of your stuff that you are learning, because we only have 2 chapters left, and then you're taking your quiz on Friday for this book, and you have your NWA this week. So today, not today, but yesterday, you did your NWA, which I'm very proud of you guys. Most of you did a great job. So on Tuesday and Wednesday, you're going to be finishing Frindle. On Thursday, you'll be taking your NWA math. And then on Friday, you'll take your Frindle test. Now, I will post a couple of those quiz questions for you guys. Those links where you can take quizzes online to help you study, like we did for Charlotte's Web. So if you need some time and you think you need to study a little bit, go on there and take those quizzes. They give you the answers. You'll know the answers, and to help you with that quiz. And some of those might be on the test. So go ahead and check those out too when I post them on Wednesday. I'll be posting them on Wednesday after class. So, but today, let's get started with chapter 14. And in chapter 14, I already have the answers here for you guys. The reason why is because I want to go through this quickly, not because we're rushing, but because it is a busy week this week, and I want to make sure you have time to do your NWA, get a good night's sleep, a good night's rest, and to just be able to study for the Frindle test. Here we go. So the first word, this word was, it says on page 94, you guys, but girls and guys, but this, I was looking and I couldn't find it on page 94. I actually found it on page 93, the word recovery. And when I was reading it, I used my context clues, and my definition was to get something back. I thought like, oh, to get something back, like you recover it, you're getting it back. But when I looked it up in Google, under their dictionary, it said a return to a normal state of health or mind. And that is exactly what it meant too. It said, thanks to his little talk with Mrs. Granger, along with a healthy dose of summer vacation, Nick made a full recovery. Now remember, he was sort of sad at the end of 5th grade because he wasn't himself, because he wasn't being creative, because he felt like he was holding it inside him. Instead of being creative, he was just holding it in because he didn't want all that attention. But during the summer and the talk with Mrs. Granger, he was able to make a full recovery and become himself and start being creative again when he went to middle school. All right, so let's go to the next one. So I already did the capitalizations and punctuations for you, but I did not circle the nouns or square in the verb or the verb phrase. And in this case, there's a lot of verb phrases. Because remember how I talked about those linking verbs, how a linking verb goes with a verb, and that creates a verb phrase. We talked about that in class before. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pen out. Here we go. So for a while, it seemed that no one could have helped Nick. Now, Nick is going to be a noun because he is a person. Nothing else in here is a noun, but let's get those verb phrases. For a while, whoops, I forgot it. It is a noun. Remember, it is a pronoun. Yes, it replaces, so it is a noun. All right, seemed is a verb, so I'm going to try to box that in. I know it looks sort of similar to my circles. So seemed is something someone can do, and have helped. The word have is a linking verb, so have helped is the verb phrase. All right, let's go to the next one. By the end of the chapter, Nick had returned to being himself. All right, himself is a noun. It is one of those pronouns. Nick is a noun. All right, chapter is a noun because it's a thing. All right, so by the end of the chapter, Nick had returned to being himself. All right, had returned is the linking verb in the verb, and being is also a linking verb. That word to is a preposition, but it is a part of the verb phrase. All right, so that's what you should have boxed in. Now that's something you're going to be learning in 4th grade next year. All right, let's get started next. I am going to clear this all off and go down to the next one. All right, so the next one, I already answered it for you. It said, read the sentence from the text. It says, Nick was afraid to bring it all up again, but he was dying of curiosity. So I went back in the text. You always have to go back in the book and look. I went back and looked and figured this out. Now that we're dying of curiosity, we've talked about these in class before because this is a figurative language, and that's what this section is about. Figurative language, this is a hyperbole, and we talked about how hyperboles are exaggerations. Is he really dying of curiosity? Now, you know that word curiosity means to wonder, to ask questions, to want to know something, all right? But can you die from wondering? No, so it is an exaggeration. It just shows you he really, 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 really wants to know. So it is B. Nick was overwhelmed by the desire to know. He just really wanted to know. He was overwhelmed with it. He was dying with curiosity. So again, that is a saying. That is a hyperbole. All right, let's go to the next one. So it asks to explain how you were able to determine the meaning of the phrase in item 3. So how did you know that I was overwhelmed with desire to know? Well, this is what I wrote. I know the word curiosity means to wonder. So he wouldn't be wondering and actually dying. So it has to be, I forgot to put the it. It has to be a hyperbole, which is an exaggeration. We've gone over those in class before. He just really wants to know, and he's wondering about it. There you go. Exactly what I explained before. Okay, let's go to number 5. I'm going to slowly scroll up before I show you the answer. So how did a social studies lesson spark Nick's new idea and plan? So if you remember in our social studies class, we also learned about consumers and producers. And a consumer is somebody who buys something from a producer, someone who makes it or does a service. So they're doing the same exact lesson that we were doing in class a couple weeks ago. And the consumer, and he's like, wait, if a consumer buys something and they stop buying it, that means the business will go out of business. For instance, like Sweet Tomatoes and Golden Corral, they are most likely, or I know definitely Sweet Tomatoes has gone out of business because they are buffets. We are no longer going to buy buffets. People aren't going to do that because it's a health concern now. So they've gone out of business. So he got the same idea, which is crazy that relates to us right now in today's society. So he got this idea that if they stop buying lunch in the cafeteria, then they'll start serving better lunch, because no one will be buying it. So they'll be forced to either stop cafeteria lunch, which they can do because they have to provide lunch to the students, or what they'll do is they'll have to get better food. And he thought that was a wonderful idea. So this is what I put down. In social studies class, I put there. That was they. Let me fix that. Let's see. They were learning about consumers and how if consumers don't buy something, then stores and businesses will go out of business on page 88. So he doesn't like the lunch food in the cafeteria. So he thought if he gets the kids to stop buying lunch, they will go out of business, which I definitely spelled business wrong. They will go out of business or change their food. So, and that's what they did in middle school, but we're not there yet. We haven't got to that part of the chapter. All right, so let's go to the next one. Why didn't Nick proceed with his new plan? And that is C. Nick didn't want to get the same kind of attention he received during Frindle Mania. And that's at the beginning of chapter 14 on that page. I believe it was page 88. So make sure you go to page 88 if you didn't find that one. Always go back in the chapter and look. How does Miss Granger feel about Nick? Provide details from the text to support your inference. So you have to go back. And it actually says it in the text, so it's not really necessarily an inference. You just have to reword it in your own words. On page 92, Miss Granger feels Nick had a good idea. She's very proud of him and the way, again, my typing, the way he behaved. She enjoyed teaching him and expected to hear remarkable things about him in the future. All right. So there you go. That's what I saw, and I saw on page 92. If you saw more, let me know if you saw more. If you think she also thinks about him more than that, or as some other way she feels about him, like except for just proud. Maybe she feels I could see her feeling like not overwhelmed, but inspired by him because he did this amazing thing as a student. All right. Why did Miss Granger give Nick the envelope? Well, like I said before, she said it wasn't over. She thought the war of the word Frindle wasn't over. He would know when it was. She even said that, oh, you mean that letter? No. You'll get that when the war's over. You'll know when the war's over. And that was on page 91. What happened as a result of Nick's conversation with Miss Granger? Well, just like I said before, he went on to middle school and high school and came up with some good ideas. You always have to reread what you wrote. He even did the idea with the food cafeteria. He did that in middle school. And that leads us to our next question, question 10. What happened when Nick was in middle school? In middle school, his idea for the students to stop eating the food in the cafeteria made the middle school get better food and become the most successful school lunch program. And even a superintendent came out of that district to see what made their lunch so much better and why they were selling so many lunches. And they found out because Nick helped them know that they were serving horrible lunches. They needed something better. And again, he still got attention, but he was proud of it because he was doing the right thing and had good morals and values. All right, you guys. Well, that does it for chapter 14. I don't have any clues for you today because on Friday will be our last Zoom. And so I have something special for you on there. And our Cambridge kids do too. But right now, I'll see you guys tomorrow.